Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Woody Myers, Senior Marketing Coordinator here at Reiko Interactive. This is a 30-minute webinar that introduces the basics of fleet tracking and asset management and explores how this may be useful to your business. And now I will turn it over to our Business Development Manager, Don Mack. Don?
Thank you, Woody, and good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining the basics of fleet tracking. We've put together a little presentation to kind of give you an idea to use the service for your business and to give you a basic understanding. The agenda for today, we're just going to give a little commercial about Reiko, about who we are, why GPS tracking, types of systems, how it works, the equipment that's most commonly used, some common terms in tracking, as well as things to consider before you would ever invest in a system. And then we'll wrap things up with the Q&A. So Reiko, we are going to be celebrating our 25th anniversary next year. We are an integrator of handheld and wireless mobility solutions. Obviously, fleet tracking being one of them. We do field service, delivery, yard management, and a bunch of other mobility solutions. We do offer custom development, professional services, as well as wireless data services. So why GPS fleet tracking? Essentially what it is you're monitoring your fleet, which could be vehicles, it could be assets, it could be people, and you can do this all in front of your computer screen and with the right solution with a tablet or a mobile phone. There's a long list of benefits with fleet tracking. The most important is it gives you an idea where your assets, your vehicles, and your people are at any given time and what they're doing. It allows for an improvement in safety. If you can think of a situation where you have drivers that may not behaving quite right, speeding or other reckless behavior, this will give you a very good idea of how your drivers are out there in the world. You will see almost in every instance a lowering of fuel costs almost from the get-go. If you have a fleet of vehicles, I'm sure there may be a driver or two who use the vehicles maybe for a personal visit or two. Once they're being tracked, you're going to see that type of behavior is going to go away, as well as better routing. You can assign a vehicle or a driver. If they're making a customer stop, you can actually pick the right one that's a little bit closer to save you a little bit extra money on fuel costs as well as maintenance. The unauthorized use, that is personal visits, as well as using the vehicle outside of normal business hours. You'll be able to track that, receive alerts, and so on. The better documentation, a lot of reporting. If you happen to pay drivers by the mile, for example, you'll be able to get a report that actually shows how much they drove during a certain period of time. And instead of filling out reports and things like that, just pay it via the report that's generated from the system. Theft recovery, hopefully this doesn't happen, but if one of your vehicles is stolen or lost, you'll have a very good idea where it last reported to tell the authorities or your insurance. And then the last point with optimized asset utilization. The point there is mainly you have a lot of assets out there being used, and if you don't have a really good idea where they are at any given time, you may have, for example, 25 out there. If you have a better idea of what those 25 are doing, could you do it with less? So you could maybe remove a truck from your fleet or use less construction gear at a work site if you had a better idea where they're at and what they're doing. These are the main benefits of why incorporate GPS tracking into your business. There are others, but these are the main points. There are two main types of GPS tracking systems. One we refer to as a passive tracking system. This is where you have a device in the vehicle that is just receiving GPS data from the satellite, but it's not transmitting that data to a system. It's just holding it there, and then when the vehicle or the device comes back to like a home office, you do a data dump, and then you have your information. The second one is what we refer to as an active tracking system, and that's what we're going to be spending most of our time on today. That uses a cellular connection to transmit that GPS information back to a host system. It's near real time. We don't like to say real time because it depends on how often it's updating the system, but most applications out there do anywhere from 2 seconds to 10 minutes, sometimes longer. The nice thing about the active tracking system is it supplies what we refer to as actionable information or alerts, meaning you can do something about it at that time. If you have a passive tracking system, you don't necessarily can act upon the information coming from the GPS unit until you receive it back at the office. Both systems, they use essentially similar hardware and cost. There's not much difference between the two. Here's a screen that kind of gives you an idea of how it works. The first thing is the GPS satellite. There's 24 of these satellites going around the Earth, thousands of miles up in the air. I think they were installed by the government about, I think it's over 20 years ago. The one thing to be aware of with the GPS signal is it's a line of sight signal. If you're driving like it's in a garage or inside of a building, you're not going to get a signal very well. Okay? So essentially the satellites, there's at least 3 of them have to be used at one time to triangulate the signal to show an exact coordinate on a map. It's received by the device, which could be in a vehicle, on an asset like a crane or other construction gear, or on an individual. That information is then sent via cellular connection. There's a cellular modem inside a GPS tracking device. And that in turn is sent back to the fleet tracking company servers, either Reiko or someone else, through the internet and then back to the user interface. That is essentially how it works, and then information could go back from the user interface back through the system back to the vehicle. So pretty simple little graphic there. Hopefully it helps give you an idea how it works. Okay, what we have here is the type of equipment. The ones that we're covering today are designed mainly for vehicles or asset and cargo and mobile workers. The vehicles, you have standalone systems, meaning they're not plugged in or hardwired in anywhere. They operate on a battery, or you can keep them charged via like a car charger and a cigarette lighter. The OBD2 interface is on almost all vehicles now. It's a standard interface. It's used when you bring your car into the mechanic and they plug in that engine diagnostics tool. That's what that is. It's very simple to do. It takes about 10 seconds to seed one of these devices. We'll store the data of that last location. The third choice is the hardwire. We call these covert, meaning that they're hidden inside the vehicle. The nice thing about these is people, unless they know it was installed, don't really know it's there. And 2, it's always taking power from the vehicle. You don't have to worry that it may fall loose or someone pulls it out. That's the nice thing about the hardwire. The asset and cargo hardware components, you see the beige-looking device at about 3 o'clock on your screen. That one, it can be affixed to what we call like an asset, think construction gear or a trailer, or we call them roll-off boxes. They're used a lot like in construction sites to capture scrap. Those can be programmed to wake up based on motion, temperature, or other settings, whatever the customer would like. That's what's nice about those, and capture that information. To give you an example, if you had construction gear and it's on a job site and you get an alert at 12:30 at night that your crane is moving, odds are it's not working. Someone is, stealing your crane. That's the point of that tracking device. And the last thing is the mobile workers. Every smartphone now has a GPS radio in it. You can actually use that GPS radio as well as the cellular radio in the smartphone device to track an individual. And then there's dedicated devices that you can use, and I think most people have seen these commercials late night, where you're tracking pets or your kids or things like that. Those are called dedicated personal GPS devices. There are literally hundreds of devices out there in the marketplace right now. Price range can be as little as $100, and they can go above $1,000. There's a lot of features, a lot of benefits to all of them, and our advice here is to do your homework prior to investing on any piece of hardware. These are some common terms in GPS tracking, and I'll explain them with a visual. What we did here is we took some screenshots from our application. And the first thing we refer to as a geofence. A geofence is a virtual fence that you can set up with the tool around a facility, maybe a sales geography or something where you want to know when an asset, a vehicle, or a person is entering or leaving. The nice thing about geofences is, well, they're very easy to set up. First of all, you can literally draw the corners, or you can do a circle based on a diameter or a radius of that circle. The nice thing about this, you can configure it with alerts. So for example, on this screenshot here, this is a warehouse, and if you happen to deliver to this warehouse, as soon as your vehicle or asset crosses that line, you will receive an alert, either coming in or going out, or however you would set it up. And that's nice for customer service. If you set up maybe a bigger geofence around a location, you can actually let your customers know our driver is X amount away, or you can have your customers receive that alert, something like that. That's what's really nice about the geofence. You could also set it up for let's say you have salespeople or service people, and they're supposed to be working within a specific geography. The nice thing about the geofence is you can see when they enter and when they exit that geography. to kind of maybe keep track of what they're doing, as well as better customer service purposes. The next term is landmarks, and landmark is essentially a point of interest. On the screen here, you see samples of landmarks dotted around here north of Dallas. These are essentially customers in this case. The nice thing about landmarks is you can use these for routing, you can use them for geofencing, as well as just keeping track of your customers. That's what's really nice about the landmarks. Next thing is a breadcrumb trail, and we kind of refer to these as the dots on the map. This screen right here shows the history of a driver in a given day. And all those green dots on the map show you the history of that driver on that particular day. The blue dots that hopefully you can see well on the screen are essentially the customers. So you can deduce that this particular driver on this day took a route and saw nothing but customers this day. And that's what breadcrumb trail does. It shows a really nice history of an activity for a given day or whatever period of time it may be. And then routing. Routing works in conjunction with the landmarks. And the example that you have on the screen here is this particular company has 3 vehicles over off to the left over here. And what I did is I entered in a landmark to say, okay, this customer may need a delivery. What's my closest vehicle? It chose the closest vehicle here at 8.41 miles. I could choose the other 2 vehicles if I knew some different information other than just location. And then I asked it to route it. And these are the directions that can pop up after routing. And what you could do here, you can print it, but you could share it, and share it via email or text or something that you can get it to the driver, or potentially integrate into like a Garmin or a TomTom device. You can send this information over very quickly. So what's nice about the routing function is it gives you the ability to react to a customer's need a little quicker, plus take care of directions and that type of thing. This busy image here it's traffic. Most people probably have seen some sort of traffic maps in the past. It integrates with Google Traffic, and here the green lines at this time of day show that traffic is very light. You can see there's yellow and as well as red. Red you're going to want to avoid. And again, you can integrate this into routing as well as sending this to your driver. And the last thing is, I mentioned alerts earlier. This is a sample alert that actually was me driving, and about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, and you can see the highlighted area. I had an alert set up on the device that I was carrying with me if I go over 75 miles an hour to send an alert. And you can see right there an excessive speed alert, 76 miles an hour, and an approximate location. It does have the exact location here with the latitude and longitude. But you can see here I was on I-75, which is in Turtle Creek, Ohio, which is about 30 minutes north of my location right now. So I probably should have slowed down, is my guess. But that's the kind of power and control that you can have, and those are some of the common terms that you have in our industry. Our last slide, these are some things that we think you should consider before making the investment, because it is an investment, both in hardware and in most cases there's a recurring cost. So the first thing is to determine what relevant information is to your business. What I showed you here and other information, if engine diagnostics, for example, is not important, or you won't be using that information, or becomes very difficult to manage, then don't consider it as part of an option for you to invest in. Features like that do cost more money. Most applications, you can do routing and traffic and monitoring and alerts, and everything I kind of showed you here, you can do that for more of a base package. But just consider that data that's relevant to your business, and that's the stuff that you're going to want to manage. The second point is the monitoring and managing the application, and who's going to do it. It is some work, but once it's set up, it is somewhat self-managing unless you want to act on that information, like I showed you, like if you want to reroute somebody or that type of thing. But just consider that, because it is something that you'll have to do to maximize the potential of the system. Costs, I'm going to give you some numbers here. Your startup costs, that's usually the hardware, some installation, and maybe some other setup fees. Hardware typically runs on the low end $100 and above $1,000. Most of the stuff is going to be closer to $200–300. The devices I showed you here, if you're not going to track a mobile phone that you already have. If you want something that's providing all kind of data, like with sensors and tire pressure monitoring, you want to manage your gas, or your fuel, that type of thing, that's going to cost more money. Installation, that could be $75 to up to $200 a vehicle. So consider that. Or if you don't want that extra investment, you may want to choose a device that you can install yourself, either like a battery-operated one or that OBD2 interface device. Recurring, if you're using an active system, which is what we're talking about today, the recurring fees could range from $15 on the low end and up and over $100. Most systems are between $15 and $50 a month. The ones that get above that are the ones that are capturing that extra information, or they're getting updates a lot more frequent than 1 or 2 minutes. The ones that we're familiar with, really the status updates, which use a lot of data, and the data component is part of the cost. They update the system between 1 and 2 minutes. That's typical. But some, like I said earlier, may not update it until 10 minutes, or they may do it every 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds is going to jack up your costs. The next point is your contract. The length of the contracts usually range from 12 to 24 months. Some are longer. For example, if they include hardware in the contract, it's probably going to be longer. The terms, like I said, it may include hardware, it may not. The hardware may just be an extra cost up front. There more than likely will be an early termination fee, especially if there's hardware as part of your monthly payment. There definitely will be an early termination fee. Next point is the mobile management tool. This is very important, especially with the advent of smartphones in the last few years. Make sure whatever you do invest in, you can manage it via an Android device, an iPhone, a tablet. A lot of people want to look at this stuff and manage it away from their PC. So make sure that whoever you invest in has that. And the last thing is probably the most important, is to educate yourself and then build your return on investment case. There's a lot of information out on the web. You can look at our website. There's numerous GPS tracking companies out in the marketplace that have good information. Educate yourself. Just don't take our word for it. And build your case. Build it on fuel. Build it on increased customer service or more sales calls. But build your own ROI. Companies like us can help you, but I think that's the main point there. So that is it for the presentation part. All right. Sorry, folks. It appears we had a little audio control problem, but I'm not sure if you heard the answer to the insurance question, if you can receive a discount from your provider. The answer is check with your provider. From our experience from our customers is they do receive discounts. I just can't tell you how much. It could be 1%, it could be 30%. Everything depends on your provider, what type of fleet you have, and so on. But this should help. Sorry, one more question, and then we'll wrap things up. How long do the batteries last on battery units? If it's one of those asset cargo ones, it depends on how much data is being transferred. The one has like a 7-year battery, but it cannot be recharged. That's based on like 1 ping a day for 7 years, so no movement. Our experience with that one is about 2 to 3 years. On the in-car type devices, there's several devices that can do what we call a full shift, which is usually 8 hours, and that's with 1 to 2 minute pings per day. You can always get a car charger adapter just to make sure it's being done, but full shift, depending on the device, or on an asset, it could be several years. Just depends. That is it for the questions.
I'd like to thank everybody for participating today. If you'd like more information on fleet tracking, please contact us for further information. We can also schedule a demonstration one-on-one to talk about how this could help your business. So again, thank you for attending, and have a great day.